Hi everyone, welcome to a new Express Flute Tips video. Today I would like to speak about the intonation, about some basic ideas I have about the intonation. Some of you have contacted me asking if it was possible for me to record a video on that regard, so here it comes. And the first thing I have to say, it is that it's very difficult, almost impossible, I think it's impossible to speak about this topic in a video like that, in a fast way, because that's something that comes with us, it goes along with us during a lifetime. First of all, also, we have different intonation worlds. So, first of all, we have the piano, that it's tempered, and that's not the same, let's say, world or the same system we are going to find when we play with other musicians, especially with the wind section of an orchestra or a wind chamber music group. It's going to be the harmonic intonation, but also then we have the melodic intonation, which we have to find a compromise between all those, let's say, three worlds, and also that is different when we play with string, unfortunately. So, in order not to have a mess, I think that what it's easier is that we try to develop an ability that it is the ability of imagining sounds in our mind, so that we can imagine previously a sound. It means also the color of the sound. So I think it's something that helps a lot if we can imagine before we play what kind of sound we want. If we want to play or etc. Of course that can sound obvious, but the key point for me is that before playing I have very clear that I want to play T or T or whatever. And this also happens with intonation somehow. Of course, in the end, this is something that it's more related with listening and listening and listening. We should listen a lot of music, we should play with a lot of people, play a lot with piano, play a lot with chamber music groups, and that's something that in the end, little by little comes, and we have always more internalized for everyone. And that, as I said before at the beginning of the video, that's something that comes in a lifetime, and always we can improve. So, some exercises you can do if you have a piano available, today I'm going to speak about that, are basically playing notes. First of all, not even arpeggios, but just notes. So maybe then changing dynamics, also to find the flexibility, different contact points with your instrument. So just try to experiment a little bit these kind of feelings, also playing. So, that's a very basic thing you can do, and I think it's quite helpful because you are finding little feelings always different. When you play more forte, when you play more piano, there is a feeling, I don't know if it's possible to hear, that I like particularly. It's if we play, for instance, a note like this, and we play very, very soft, we can make our sound surround the sound that we are already hearing. That I really like, because it's something that we can use in order to blend also with the sound that we are hearing, no? Okay, then of course we can do arpeggios, because I find it's basic. We lead the pedal, of course. Then what I like is to change suddenly the tonalities. And yeah, because then we change suddenly to another world. I was saying that in other videos too. And then also, of course, we can go to the high register. Of course, it's difficult when we have to play one note and we have to play with both hands. It's much easier to do that with when we can play with one hand and do like that with that note. But I think this is something really easy to do, that everyone can do, and really interesting because you can be also warming up with the intonation of the piano, and also try to play just the piano and hear where are the intervals. Yeah, I think it's useful, of course. It's something quite useful to do. Then you have a lot of videos around there in YouTube, in the internet, really. There are a lot of karaokes, like covers. You have the piano accompaniment for almost every piece there is, and there are a lot of flutists that they are doing a great job of uploading also those karaokes, those piano accompaniments. Really go for that and play with that, because that's very helpful. I do it a lot myself. In fact, I was going to record the cantilena from the Poulenc Sonata, but it sounds very, the audio quality is not good in order to make a video like that, because it's not possible to hear well. But it's possible for oneself to do that. And in fact, that's also very interesting, because that's what makes us develop better. In order to, play a lot with the piano in that case, and then other topics with orchestra, and this will come in other videos, because that's a different world and it's very complicated to do alone, let's say, of course. Then one last thing, a thing that I think it's also quite useful to do, it's trying to play one note and try to play like an arpeggio with the reference we give to ourselves. Let's say, so if I play G major and I go, of course that's a little bit sharp. It's not perfectly in tune, but okay, if it's a little bit sharp, then I try to play everything in the same sonority, because if I play alone, that will sound, let's say, in tune. Of course, that's not, let's say, the correct, but it's very interesting, especially to play melodies. I don't know, if you play, for instance, let's try to play another version, which is in another intonation, and then we try to play it consequently, also, with ourselves. These kind of things I do really a lot, because I think that can help us practicing like the melodical intonation, especially from when we play flute solo, let's say unaccompanied literature. And also the last thing I do, a lot of times I do this because I like it, it's to open a lot the head joint and then have the feeling it's a different sound. I use it in order to imitate like a traverso sound, etc. But for this also it's quite helpful, because it changes totally where the notes are. It changes totally, radically, all the feelings, all the placements. So, and then why not? It's a different thing to do, because what I want to achieve is the ability of reacting fast, reacting fast to what we hear. So, not good, but anyway, that helps because then we go normal and it's much easier. Really, it's like playing home at home, no? And of course, even if you have like the possibility of playing in another flute like that, and you try out, that's like totally really difficult because it changes the pitch, it changes like everything, the feeling. But then just trying to see where the references are played. I'm not a specialist at anything on that, but let's see what comes up. Very difficult for me here because everything is totally radically different. But I think it's very interesting because then we are developing this ability of being able to change from something to another and then playing again. I don't know. I really recommend you that you do those kind of things. Why not? I think it's helpful to be always creative with the tools we can have, and nowadays on the internet, really, we have a lot of things. So go to investigate and play all you can. Even when we are alone, we can really play. So keep on that track, and I hope that it was helpful for you. And we will speak more about this topic, of course, because it never ends, in fact. So I hope that it was helpful. Thanks, and see you in the next video.